Spurs up, YouTube. It's time for the second episode of Rooster Rampage. If you can't tell, today it is the South Carolina Gamecock preview and prediction video. Alright, coming into the 2021 NCAA football season, the South Carolina Gamecocks have a brand new coach, Shane Beamer, and they're starting Zeb Noland at quarterback. That's the biggest topic in Gamecock football right now. Luke Doty was supposed to be the starter, but he is not starting due to a foot injury. So Zeb Noland, a graduate transfer, kind of a coach deal out of North Dakota State, I believe. He's going to play against Eastern Illinois at least. That's the first game of the year. A lot of defenses returning, especially on the D-line. The cornerbacks are kind of shaky, but Kevin Harris is back. Marshawn Lloyd, we'll get to see what he finally is about. A 5-star, didn't get on the field last year, but Kevin Harris is probably the best back in the SEC. I hear a lot of people talking about Spiller and Tank Bigsby, but Harris, I mean, look what he's got going for him. The Gamecocks, and yet he put up those numbers last year on all SEC schedule. I believe Kevin Harris is the best running back in the SEC, and I think that he's going to prove it this year. And I think that's why South Carolina's going to win a couple games. Some people might not think they're going to win. Anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and look at this schedule and start predicting some games because, well, it's not looking too good right now for the Gamecocks. I'll admit, with Zeb Noland and all that, I mean, it's never good when you have a graduate assistant, not a graduate student transfer. I think I said student earlier. He's a graduate assistant. Now playing quarterback. That's not really a good thing. But it might be. He might be a Heisman winner. George Rogers. But he did play at Iowa State at first, so he does have some talent. And North Dakota State's the best FCS team out there. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Go ahead and get this season started. We play against Eastern Illinois at home. And then East Carolina away. I don't think South Carolina's going to have a problem with either game, even with Zeb Noland. Kevin Harris will run wild. I think both of those are sewed up as a 2-0 start for South Carolina. And then South Carolina takes on Georgia on the road. 2019, last time they were in Athens, it turned out great. Carolina won. It's not going to happen this time. I'm sorry. I'd love to pick the Gamecocks to go 12-0, but it's just not going to happen. South Carolina's going to drop to 2-1 against Georgia, and right now, and I think all year long, the goal should be get to a bowl game, or at least improve on the 3-win record last year. That's the goal. And then South Carolina plays at home against Kentucky. Last year, Kentucky destroyed South Carolina, and with everything going on in South Carolina, I don't think that enough has gone right yet to reverse that loss. Although I think it's a winnable game, I think Kentucky wins. That's a 2-2 game. A 2-2 record now. Then home against Troy. Troy plays Coastal Carolina, so we'll be able to see who's the better team there. I don't think it's really a question, but we'll see. I think South Carolina will beat Troy. That's 3-2. South Carolina's got a winning record right now. Then South Carolina takes on Tennessee. They are going on the road to play Tennessee. Tennessee's another team with a lot of problems right now. I think that those problems are honestly worse than South Carolina's, even with Zeb Noland starting. So I'm going to take the Gamecocks in this one too. Go 4-2. South Carolina starting 4-2 halfway through the year. That's a controversial pick, but I don't care. It's my pick. And then South Carolina takes on Vanderbilt at home. That's like Eastern Illinois or East Carolina. I think South Carolina's going to roll over Vanderbilt. 5-2 for the Gamecocks. And then it's on the road against Texas A&M. It's not going to happen this year. Hasn't happened yet. South Carolina's going to fall to Texas A&M on the road. That's a 5-3 record. Then South Carolina moves on to take on Florida at home. I think this is a winnable game, honestly, for South Carolina. I'm not really high on Emory Jones. They were really good last year. They lost a lot of people, but they're still a good team. I think it's winnable for Carolina, but it's just not going to happen. The Gators are going to win that game, I believe. So that's going to drop Carolina to 5-4. After that, South Carolina takes on Missouri in the other Columbia in SEC. The not as good Columbia. Never been there, not knocking it, but what's better than the capital of South Carolina? Very little, right? I think Missouri's going to be really good. Connor Bazelak's going to sling the ball around, so I'm thinking that South Carolina's probably going to fall to 5-5 here. Then it's home against Auburn. I think it's another winnable game, but we'll be honest here. I got them going beating Tennessee, South Carolina, so they have to drop the other game with the controversy and the new coaches and stuff with Brian Harsin, who I'm high on. Boise State. I'm a Boise State fan too. Not like the East Coast or South Carolina, but I do root for the Broncos. Just because when I was a kid they beat Oklahoma in that bowl game and it was cool, coolest thing. By that time of the year, they have more talent. You know, the third-year starting quarterback in Bo Nix, Tank Bixby, they'll probably beat South Carolina. South Carolina's now 5-6 and has to beat Clemson, which, spoiler alert, they're not going to do. South Carolina's going to fall to 5-7. I probably don't sound much like a fan predicting that and another loss to Clemson, but I'm trying to be realistic here. I picked Coastal to lose a game, and I have to be honest. I think South Carolina's going to go 5-7. Anyway, and I think if they're going to make a bowl, they're going to be Kentucky or Florida. More than likely Kentucky. I think it's possible, just not likely. Anyway, that's my predictions. I hope you have a good day.